Alrighty, I'm ready. It's time for the weekend video. It's Saturday morning here in the west coast of Ireland. A wet and windy start to the weekend in this new lockdown, let's say. On top of that, if it wasn't bad enough, if the weather wasn't bad enough, then I'm not allowed to go anywhere. Anyway, here we are. It's been another week. It's the 24th of October, believe that, if you can. And I'm going to go through the week and see what's brewing. I'm starting on the US dollar FX, so euro dollar, and we'll see where it goes from there. I just had a thought there about this long triangle that I'm tracking here. So wave A down, wave B triangle, and then a wave, what we should expect eventually is a wave C down. But anyway, on the 4-hour chart, I'm wondering, is this actually wave D and E? It might be a stretch, but it's possible. So it's definitely 3 waves down. What I've been kind of tracking over the last while is this 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then a 5 wave down. So a 3-3-5 kind of flat correction wave D, and then we head up again in wave E. So that's where I'm standing. So let's get into the hourly chart and we'll see how that's going to trace out. I think we've got 3 waves down in A. We've got a nice trend channel filled in 3 waves in B. A nice rally up in wave C. We're kind of hinting at that last week, but it definitely came to fruition this week. And it seems to have traced out 5 waves up and hit the, we bounced above the 62% retracement level. We hit the upper trend channel line and then we bounced right back off that. So question is this 1 and 2 to the downside? Definitely looks like 5 waves down with a little triangle there in the 4th wave. Blip to a new low in wave 5 and then a rally off that in possible wave 2. We'll see whether that works out early next week or not. We seem to have come to some sort of a head on Friday evening, and the last bar was down. So we'll see, does that continue early on the Sunday night trade, the early morning Monday trade? If so, we got to break 117.86 at the wave 1 low and then head lower in wave 3. I think if this count is correct, next week we should be down back probably below this wave B low here. So that's gives a price in that 116.87. Got to be below that wave B low by the end of next week in 5 waves down. To begin wave C, so let's see how that runs. Okay, so pound dollar triangle again. The count this week got, well, it was already messy. It was a difficult one to track, I have to say, this B wave here. But then again, B waves that's what they are. But it looks still like we've got an ABC pattern heading lower into a D wave low. Let's get into the hourly chart here. It looks like now 3 waves down in A. I was calling this an expanded flat before, but the action just developed. Well, it developed into a triangle, and then we got a spike higher out of that triangle. And again, we hit the 62% retracement level, and again, we headed lower off that. So we need some follow through. Looks like we may have 3 waves up, so A, triangle B, and 5 waves up in C. And now we need 5 waves down. So either this is an extending wave 1 down, or we've got a wave 1 and 2 complete already. We'll see how that fares early next week. The Friday evening trade was, well, it's pretty flat. We'd have to see, I think, a break below this B wave triangle low 29, 129. If we broke 129 again, that should indicate that wave 3 is underway. The minimum target for wave C would be down at 126.74, but I would expect 5 waves down to around the lower trend channel line there, maybe around 124 or 123. So that's still, 600-700 points from where we stand right now. We are ruled out completely if we break 131.76, but I think below that again, if we break this possible wave 2 here, 131.20, then that would probably just, it would be enough to postpone, let's say, the decline into wave C. Okay, move on. Dollar yen, an interesting week. We got a spike lower into a C wave, which, well, I have to say it was, if not expected, it was suggested by the early price action in the week. We did get that spike lower. Well, we worked to a 3-wave high in this B wave here. Then we spiked lower off that, and we were talking about a possible shift in the pattern with that little spike, and then it really came into fruition then on was Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not convinced by the pattern off that low just yet. We could be still within wave C. It could be a little 1, 2, 3 fourth wave developing, maybe a triangle fourth wave, A, B, C, D, E, maybe, I don't know, and maybe another spike lower to complete 5 waves down. I don't know. We've rebounded anyway. Whether this turns out to be a wave 1 and 2, or maybe there's a wave 1 in there and an expanded flat wave 2 or running flat wave 2, like that. I just have to wait and see on this one. I seem to be the only idiot in the room that's talking about a dollar rally or a coming dollar rally, and I have to say I can't be but any more convinced right now. I'm just going to throw up a few charts here. This is a few COT charts. This is the dollar index over the last, how many years? 5 years, 6 years? And I've been watching this pinch for the last couple of weeks, or well, couple of months, sorry. The way the net positions came into pinch and overlap. And when you see that overlap, I'm calling it a pinch. I like that. After a decline or during a decline, it's definitely it's a setup, it's a base, and I think we will probably get a similar reaction like we did before. You can see back in 2017-18, you got that overlap in net positions between leveraged money and the dealer side of the market. And then we embarked on a nice 2-year rally in the dollar. It was a nice 25% rally as far as I can see. Or sorry, about 20% rally off the 18 lows. You can see here we got this pinch back in late 16, and we were off that pinch. We were given a nice, I think, a 10% rally. You can see back in 2014 into 2015, we had that pinch, mid 2014, and then we were dealt a good 25% rally. So, is it going to be 20%? I don't know, but it's surely setting up that kind of overbearing bearishness that has kind of tainted the previous periods before rallies. So here we are again. I want to look at the euro as well. So this is the net positions in the euro, and you can see here that the asset management side of the market has never been more bullish on the euro. They never even sold down during that decline period in 18-19. So one side of the market is incredibly bullish. The other side is incredibly bearish, and you'll see that the dealer side of the market has never been so bearish. I think on this one, we can be, well, I'm looking at it as pretty lopsided to the bearish side. That's a Bitcoin. I'm going to save that for later, actually. Okay, let's get back to dollar yen. So I'll wait and see, but that looks like 3 waves down to me. I'll wait and see if we develop a wave 1 and 2 next week. Going by the euro and pound, it looks like we may well do that. Although the short-term pattern is, granted, I'll give you that it is a bit mucky and murky at the moment. Let's move on. Okay, stocks levitating. Still can't tell whether this alternate count fits or not. I don't like the internal pattern in the recent rally. That's why I'm sticking with the bearish count at the moment. There's just too much overlap, and I'll go into the hourly chart and I'll show you. Let's look, yeah, hourly chart. Well, if we're going to go stick in the long-term chart, I'm still expecting a large sell down in either to complete wave A, or if we go to the weekly chart, it could be already wave C underway, and this weekly chart shows wave C is going to sell down at least to the 15,000 level. Well, let's see. Go back into the hourly chart. That's where the rubber hits the road. So we have that high in wave B, a leading wedge maybe in wave 1, and here's the 3-wave pattern that I'm looking at. 3 waves up in A, 3 waves down in B, and then an ending diagonal wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into wave C. Now, the alternate count is for wave 1 and 2 up off the low. You can see here wave 1 high at just above 28,000 there, 2820, let's say. And then a 3-wave expanded flat wave 2 in green. If that's the case, wave 3 should have accelerated. It did to a point, but it created 3 waves up. So it's a tenuous wave 3, if it is a wave 3. And the fact that we overlapped again on the recent decline, so we had an overlap of this wave 1 high here. Yeah, the wave 1 high in green there. So wave 4 and wave 1 shouldn't overlap. Even if this was a wave 4 within wave 3, then we have an overlap on that alternate count also. I haven't shown that alternate count here. But anyway, there's nothing clear at this moment in time. And hence the reason I don't favor the bullish count. So maybe I'm alone on that, naturally. Anyway, so for the moment, I'm looking at a 1-2-1-2 pattern down. We had a sell-off again on Friday, minor degree sell-off at this point. There was a time when 500 points or 400 points actually meant something, but not anymore. So if this is an impulse beginning of wave 3, then we should sell down early on Monday and continue lower for probably a few days in a larger third wave, and we should see 5 waves down within wave 3. Would like a break of that B wave low, or a break of a couple of these swing lows here. These 27,656, first one on my chart, so 27, 700 or so on the cash chart. So let's see, wave 1 and 2, 1 and 2. It's a knife edge at the moment. So let's see if we break out of this trend channel to the downside. Okay, move on. Gold had a move in the direction, back into the direction of the trend, I think, this week, over the last couple of weeks actually. So I'm looking at wave B high in a triangle, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we should see down in wave C of 4. And I think if we do get down, to that 1700 level, I think gold will be that'll be a pretty savage buying opportunity, a pretty, let's say, unmatched probably buying opportunity, apart from way back in 2017, 2018. So we're kind of approaching one of those points again. We need a little bit lower. We need to go a little bit lower to finish the pattern, and then when we do hit that approximate 1700 level, we're looking at probably a long-term buying opportunity there. Okay, so the hourly chart. This C wave down. We seem to have 5 waves down in wave 1. Excuse me. And what I'm looking at here is an A wave up, a B wave triangle, and a C wave to a new high above wave A, and that's what matters, not the extent of the triangle. The above wave A, that's what matters. and then a reasonably impulsive move lower. Hard to know yet if this is just wave one, 1, 2, 3, and that's 4 and 5. We should get clarification on that pretty early next week. But I think if we accelerate below this B wave low here, so it's 1893. If we push below, let's say the interim low here of the triangle, so 1872, that should confirm the larger wave 3 is underway. Now we can't actually get, actual confirmation until we break 1848 again. And well, that's a bit below us at the moment, but a good down day could bring us down there. So wave 1 and 2 is possibly done, and we may be accelerating into wave 3 of 3. And this third wave, I would expect to bring us, a good portion of that weight down in wave C. And by the way, I probably will have to move this wave count up by 1 degree, but I'm just kind of it's the same wave count just at a higher degree, so it doesn't matter for the purposes of trend or direction at this point in time. Okay, so let's move on. Gold again. I'm looking down. Whoop-de-doo. Who would have guessed? Crude oil again. It was a bad end to the week, and we are seeing pretty significant weakness after a three-wave recovery to a lower high. So, if you're looking for the main point to this update on crude oil, then it's the fact that we've got 5 waves down and we've got a 3-wave recovery, more or less complete, and pretty impulsive move off that 3-wave recovery also. So the hourly count here, you can see, I'll pull that chart in a bit. You can see this 3-wave recovery, so it's a flat, most likely. It's an A, B, C up in A, B, C down in B, with wave C of B tracing out an ending diagonal, it seems. And then a bit of a booger of a C wave, if I'm honest. I'm usually honest. I'm always honest. I'm trying to be honest anyway. Wave 1 and 2 and 3, they did accelerated quite nicely. We didn't form a higher, or we just pretty much came up to match the wave A high, which was kind of disconcerting slightly. But we did sell off, pretty impulsively off those highs. So there was kind of a rejection there, but the rejection continued and the contraction continued in the price action. So it was a 4th wave triangle, it seems, and then we got a blip to a new high, a little punch up to a new high above wave A early on in the week, and then again 5 waves down again. So the action in crude oil is pretty brutal at the moment. Now there is an alternate count here that you could say that this is wave A. We've got wave 1 down with A, B, and C still ongoing. Reason being is this decline over the last day or two, it seems to be in 3 waves so far. So it could be a B wave expanded flat low. So this could be an A, B, C. Again, if we get a sell down below the lower extents of that triangle, I would reckon if we break 39 again, then we're pretty much confirmed in wave C. But I favor wave 3 right now. But we just need some confirmation. Okay, so move on. Next week, I'm looking down in crude oil. Who would have believed? Who would have guessed? Okay, the S&P, wave 1 and 2 to a lower high, and we are seeing weakness off that high. So is this the beginning of a big third wave? That is the question. It's a little bit more murky in the S&P. The reason being, well, there's a couple of ways that we could view this. We did get an overlap of a previous swing high here. So this the low this week overlapped a spike high of a previous possible B wave. So I'm looking at an A running flat wave B, and then pretty straightforward rally in wave C to complete wave 2, and then possible 1, 2, 1, 2, forming kind of let's say a developing bearish trend channel down. We do need to break down below this trend channel to begin with, let's say to signal the larger wave 3 is underway. that I would like to see break 3340, but I want to see wave 3 break well below 3300, and wave 1 down again should push towards the lower 3200 level. If this is a kind of an extending pattern, as I am counting it here right now, the alternate count, well, it stands almost, tenuously. It stands for the moment. We'll have to see. If you count wave 2 as a pretty big running flat, so we've got A down, A, B, C, B up, and wave C down. If you call that wave 2, you've got wave 1 up, wave A down, B up, and C down, so we're running flat still. Wave 2, then you could overlook the overlap that happened earlier on this week, because it's just a B wave high within a second wave. It didn't actually overlap the wave 1, the alternate wave 1 high here at 33.95 or whatever that is. Excuse me. So the question is this a series of impulse waves down? Well, we'll know early next week. That's the thing. If we break 3,500 again, I think we can rule that out, and we can probably just pitch our tent on the bullish side for the moment. But if we break at 3410 or 3400 again, then and we should then extend lower, and it should be a third wave down. So again, we're on that brink point. It seems the market's on life support. Nobody wants to switch off the life support yet. So let's see how that works out. Okay, let's move on. Enough about the stock market. Here's silver. Still expecting a decline down to complete wave 2 in silver. So we've got an A, B, and an ongoing wave C down. I will admit, surely, that this fourth wave here in wave C is pretty extended at the moment. But well, it is and it isn't. We'll leave that for you to make it. You make a decision on that one. It is or it isn't. Anyway, I'm expecting this 5-wave pattern lower to complete somewhere down around the $19 handle, and we'll see then. At that point, if we do get there and we fill this trend channel, at that point, I think silver will be screaming buy. At the moment, I'm just a little bit skeptical of the action. So here you have 3 waves up in wave 4, possible 1-2 pattern, and a possible 1-2 pattern, and a possible 1-2 pattern. So that's not a broken record there. I did say three series of 3-1-2s. If that's the case, then early next week we're heading lower. If we break 2400, if we break $24 again, I think that'll do it. I think we'll be accelerating into wave 3 of 3 then, and then it'll be kind of watch out for that kind of $20 level. There ain't a whole lot apart from this spike low wave B, so we've got 2283. So there's not a whole lot holding it up after that. Got a bit of dead air space. So let's see if we accelerate into a third wave next week. So for next week, I'm looking down in silver. Would you have guessed that? Ironically, the only thing I'm pretty much looking up in is the dollar and Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin, which I'm no fan of. It's a great trading vehicle, as they say, but I watch out. I don't think people are going to be too happy at the end of this one. So I'm looking in general. I should go to the daily count. So in general, in Bitcoin, I've been following this 5-wave pattern higher, and even larger than that since the 2018 lows. I've been looking at a 3-wave pattern up. So we've got wave A, 3 waves down in wave B. So it looks like 5 waves up in A, 3 waves down in B, and then 5 waves up in C. This rally up in wave C seems to be following a pretty reasonable trend channel right now. So whether we take that as a fourth wave triangle or a straightforward flat correction fourth. I'm going with the flat correction into that 10,000 low, 800 or so low, and then a rally off that. This rally has been kind of touted for the last while by me, and I ain't no bull on Bitcoin, but I think there's probably a little bit more upside in it. I've been looking at that wave A high, so that 13,800 level. If you've been following the videos, you know that I've been looking at that wave A high for a completion or for a begin. Let's say the beginning of the end. Wave B itself or wave C of B itself could head up towards 15,000. I don't rightly know. But if we do get up there, I think it'll be short-lived, pretty much like the wave A high was. If wave C equals wave A, where will that leave us? That will leave us at so 14,450, or let's call it 14,500. Anyway, let's get into this fifth wave here and see how that's been playing out over the last while. So you can see here a triangle. Actually, it was a triangle that I was going with. A triangle off a wave 3 high. So wave 3 high back in August. We have 3 waves down in wave A. Looks like 3 waves up in wave B. 3 down in wave C, D, and E. And that completes wave 4. And then off that level, we were looking at the building of a series of 1-2 waves. So we've got a 1-2, 1-2, and then a rally up in wave 3. This was all following the wave count pretty well. We pretty much caught the top of wave 1, and then we got wave 2 down. We got 3 waves down in wave 2, and then we got the rally up in wave 3. So if you've been following the nightly charts, I know I'm not doing much, I'm not commenting on them much, apart from the videos, but the charts have been working pretty well in general. It looks like this vertical rally here that happened over the last week or so is part of a third of a third, and you would have expected that as part of a third of a third, and here we are. So we're correcting again. Not sure at all how wave 4 is going to trace out. It could be a triangle again, so we might just have that kind of narrowing consolidation here in wave 4, and then we run to a new high again. But I mean, you can see right now that we're not far off. What are we sitting at? 1296. We reached the weekly high was 13,200 or so. The long-term target has been 13,800. We're already up at 13,200, so there ain't a whole lot more to be done here. Do we get some sort of blow off up towards that 15,000 level, as I was mentioning earlier? Quite possibly, in a fourth and a fifth wave. So for the moment, we should complete wave 3, wave 4. It'll probably take another week or so to complete that. And then you'll be set up for a bit of a blow off top in wave 5. So let's get to the 4-hour chart again. So we've got wave 3, 4, and 5. If wave 5 does reach, what's that? That's an extension of wave 1, 2, or is it? Sorry. Let's get rid of you there for a second. So wave 5, if we get up towards that upper trend channel line, it looks like we're talking about 15,000. There's that 13,800 top of wave A. We're in the striking area, or within striking distance of a top here. And if it's a C wave top, it'll form pretty quickly, and then we will probably challenge this fourth wave consolidation pretty quickly after that. So it'll probably move down into about the 10,000 level pretty rapidly off the C wave top, and then we'll correct to a lower high. So it'll be something like a blow off top in wave 5 of C, and then a a pretty sharp move off the top, as you can see here in wave off the top of wave A. So it could settle down and settle in around that 10,000 level, create some sort of a lower high, and then yeah, it could be an extended sell-off down into wave C. And for all those bulls on Bitcoin, wave C, that could be pretty brutal. Minimum target would be 3,100 low again. But I'd say we'd probably push down maybe even below the 500, or dare I say 100? Okay, I'll delete that part out. Okay. Anyway, I'm actually looking up in Bitcoin for the next week or so. Let's finish off this fifth wave, and then we can deal with what can happen after that. Okay, FTSE, a little bit of a kind of, well, we seem to be breaking down out of a triangle. I mean, that's the kind of the general gist of it right now. It could be the building of an impulse pattern, or a series of impulse waves, excuse me again, to begin wave 5 down. I do like the fact that we've broken below these previous lows here, so we've got that B wave low, 57.57. We punched below that, we punched below the D wave low. So the triangle, if that is a triangle, that triangle is now dead. It's complete, it's done at that wave E high, and now we seem to be building to the downside again. It could be a series of 1-2s. I'm saying it could be because this wave 2, it may build to an expanded flat. I have no idea. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball into the future. I don't even want one. I'll leave that up to God. Future is God's domain, not mine. If this is a series of 1-2s, then we are building a pretty solid case for a general sell-off across the world. If the big ones start cracking, that should lead. It'll begin maybe in Europe and then head over to the States again. Okay, let's get into the DAX. The DAX is again punching lower, as I've been expecting it to do. It's a little less solid. We seem to have that ABC pattern completed. Maybe wave 1 and 2 complete, and maybe a series of 1-2s off that again. Unclear at the moment, to be honest. This again could be a larger expanded flat, because you could read this as 3 waves down into this weekly low. It was a nice sell-off. I would like to say that it's impulsive sell-off, but it could also be parsed out as a 3-wave pattern, which is always the conundrum that we face. So let's get some prices there. If it is a 3-wave pattern, we get an expanded flat, then we should probably move up into that kind of 13,000 range again before selling down again into a 3rd wave. So 1-2, is this a series of 1-2s, or is it a larger one, an expanded flat 2? We'll know pretty soon. Okay, move on to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also sporting that possible 1-2 pattern. I'm not overjoyed by, let's say, the action this week. It's been pretty flat, unless this is all part of some sort of 4th wave within a larger wave 1, or is it part of a B wave within wave 2? Yet to be decided. I don't know on that. But we are again selling off a lower high, so not only a lower high, but like such an incredible extreme in optimism in general, all across the board, for the last, probably all through the summer actually, and still persistent in the tech kind of sphere, but the veneer seems to be breaking or cracking at the moment. So Let's see if we can either complete this second wave, or like I said, maybe we're building some sort of a triangle correction in wave 4 of the larger wave 1. So we could be doing something like maybe 1, 2, 3 triangle wave 4 and then wave 5. We'll have to see how that plays out. It's either a triangle wave 4 or maybe a triangle within a wave B of wave 2. So definitely corrective. I think it should play out to the downside anyway, within a larger wave 1. Okay, that actually does it. I think I might done. Actually, did I have a? Yes, that was the. Actually, I meant to raise this during the Bitcoin while I was talking about Bitcoin, but this is the CO2 futures on Bitcoin, and you can see that since we've sustained the rally in a C wave. You can see that since we rallied in a C wave, that the mom and pop have just dived in. It's been like the non-reporting side that have gone pretty bullish on futures. You can see the big money is pretty hard negative at the moment. I don't know will this change, but it's a pretty wide spread between where us, the unlearned and the learned would be standing right now. So I'm pretty skeptical. If it's a C wave high, I would go with the big money on this one. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, that's me done for the week. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you're new to the videos, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for being around the website, for you guys and gals who are members of the website, and blessings to you all, everybody and anybody who listens to this. God bless you all, and have a safe and good weekend. Happy weekend. That's it. I think it's a watch out for next week. I'm always I am a natural, let's say, bear. I sit quite happily in a cave. So again, just sounding the shofar, sounding the warning horn, blowing the horn, and just so that people would be cognizant at least of the risks. God bless you. Until Monday for the website. We'll see you then, guys. Bye-bye.